Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor, who's joining us. Rajdeep, you've been tracking all the details very closely. I want to ask you, a little too late, there's been mutiny brewing in the ranks for a while now. You've suddenly woken up and admitted that there was something going wrong and the emotional appeal coming now?
It would seem so, Preeti. Clearly the momentum is with Eknath Shinde, and therefore Uddhav Thackeray's emotional appeal on Facebook may well have come a little too late. Even his move tonight from Varsha, the official chief minister's residence, to his own personal residence of Matoshri, almost suggesting as if he's renouncing the perks of the chief minister's office, may also have come too late, because when the Shiv Sena lost that 5th seat in the Rajya Sabha election 2 weeks ago, when they lost the MLC election, of course, a couple of days ago, the writing in a way was on the wall. Once you knew that the BJP had got as many as 134 votes out of 288, with a dozen Shiv Sena MLAs cross-voting, you should have been able to put your team together, get your act together, and been able to control the damage. That clearly didn't happen. Somewhere there was something seriously wrong in the Shiv Sena's ability, or the Shiv Sena leadership's ability, to gauge the extent of this dissent. I remember speaking to a Shiv Sena leader just a few days ago, and they said, oh, there are just 5 or 6 people who are dissenting. Eknath Shinde's name has been doing the rounds for some time as someone who feels aggrieved, that he believes he should have been given far more importance than possibly even an Aditya Thackeray, the son of the chief minister. And yet, at no stage was a serious attempt made to understand what was happening on the ground. Let's also be very clear here, Preeti. There's an inevitability to what has been happening. The alliance that was formed in November 2019 was an unnatural alliance. There was an element of betrayal. So there was a sense that this alliance, particularly as you came closer to the next election of 2024, and importantly the Mumbai Municipal Corporation election, which is really the cash cow for parties like the Shiv Sena, now scheduled for October, November, some of these fault lines, some of the fissures would come out into the open. And that's exactly what has happened. But your challenge was, how do you accommodate, conciliate, and be able to meet the ever-rising demands of ambitious leaders like Eknath Shinde? So clearly there was a failure to gauge that, and you were hoping that the emotional appeal, the fact that all of these leaders have come through the Sahib Thackeray era, or an allegiance to the family, dynastic privilege alone is not enough to ensure commitment of the new generation of Shiv Seniks. And I think somewhere they miscalculated. Now, is the miscalculation of a kind that will cost the government? As of today, it appears so. The numbers appear heavily stacked against Uddhav Thackeray. Their only hope now is that when these MLAs do return to Mumbai, as they will have to at some stage, will the Shiv Sainik rank and file rally behind Uddhav Thackeray, or will even that only be limited to Mumbai and not to pockets beyond that? So clearly, as of today, the odds seem heavily stacked against Uddhav Thackeray's government surviving what seems a concerted attempt, not just on the part of the Shiv Sena, but also the BJP. Let's be clear, no BJP leader, including Devendra Fadnavis, may have come out in the open. But when you move from one BJP-ruled state like Gujarat to another BJP-ruled state like Assam, the BJP stamp is all over this operation, a new kind of Operation Lotus. They only this time are moving step by step, waiting for that magic number of 37 MLAs, where the breakaway group will have 2/3 and therefore not attract the anti-defection law. Once that is done, and they are very close and may even have crossed it now with some MLAs reaching Guwahati, once they do that, then I believe it is almost game, set, and possibly match to Eknath Shinde.
Well, the optics, go more than that, where the BJP's role is, Rajdeep, till yesterday you had Sanjay Kutte, who was a BJP leader who was with these rebel MLAs in Surat. This morning, you had Himanta Biswa Sarma, who was actually inspecting the hotel where these MLAs are holed up in. But I'll, come back to it. Well, in terms of, the hardcore numbers lie with Eknath Shinde, but not entirely. So they're, they might be close or within kissing distance, even with the 4 MLAs that have gone now to Eknath Shinde's camp. 2 are independent, 2 of them are from the Shiv Sena, which makes the Shiv Sena count reach about 33. So they're still about 4 short of that magic figure. But how do you see, Rajdeep, before I let you go, how do you see things pan out over the next few days? Because whatever goes down, the fact is the odds are stacked against Uddhav Thackeray, but it's also going to impact the Mahavikas Aghadi. Things are not going to be all hunky-dory where the NCP or the Congress is concerned. There are going to be fissures and fault lines which will only widen there.
Absolutely, and it's not just about a government in Maharashtra. Let's be very clear. The BJP just a couple of months ago won a huge victory in Uttar Pradesh. Now, after Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra is the state with the second largest, biggest chunk of Lok Sabha MPs. If the opposition loses that, what is the opposition really looking forward to as you build into 2024? You've just got a couple of states today, Bengal led by Mamata Banerjee, almost as, and Stalin's Tamil Nadu. I don't count Andhra Pradesh, which seems very close to the government at the center, or Odisha as opposition ruled states. But these are the only two bastions, real bastions left. If Maharashtra goes and the BJP comes to power in combination with this new Shiv Sena, as they are calling it, then you have a situation where genuinely the BJP completely dominates Western and Northern India, has complete dominance over Northeast, and will hope to retain Karnataka in the South. What it will then suggest as you build up to 2024 is a completely demoralized opposition. And that, in a sense, is why this Maharashtra election has become this Maharashtra trial of strength, battle, whatever you call it, is so significant. And I think, in a sense, 2019 November, the coming together of the Shiv Sena NCP Congress was only able to stave temporarily the BJP juggernaut. The BJP, particularly Devendra Fadnavis, has not forgiven or forgotten what happened then, the manner in which he felt he was betrayed and the mandate was stolen from him. And they've been building towards this. Let's be clear, Preeti, there was no COVID in 2020 and 2021. The BJP may well have struck earlier. They've been smarting, waiting for their moment, and they have sensed a vulnerable chink in Eknath Shinde, someone who's a mass leader in Thane, but who has commanded financial resources, has a lot of support among Shiv Sena MLAs and a section of the rank and file, and used him in a way to plot the demise of this government. And what really surprises me is that the Shiv Sena or indeed the NCP did not see the writing on the wall after what happened in the Rajya Sabha elections. Why did they not act swiftly enough? Or maybe this has been in the planning for 6 months, as some has been saying. This has been in the planning for 6 months. They've been waiting for the right time to strike, and they wanted to strike before the Mumbai Municipal Corporation and Thane Municipal Corporation elections.
Right.
They've chosen this moment just before the monsoon session and thereby create a mahal that the opposition is completely disintegrating, and the BJP's Ashwamedh Yagna, if you can call it that, is marching once again from state to state.
All right, Rajdeep.